guys, thanks for tuning back into our channel. I'm Cindy Lynn.
This is Tony
with Bridgeview Adventures, and you are in for another exciting treat today. We are on round 3 and 4 of Weekend Warriors
versus full-timers.
Yeah, and be sure you check out the Eye in the Sky video for round 1 and round 2, and we'll put the link to our collaboration team with DnSAdventures, Shane and Deanna, in the description below, so you can check out the videos on their channel as well.
Link and subscribe to both of the channels if you would,
and hit the bell notification so you can be sure that you get all the future notifications for the videos that are coming out.
Ding-a-ling-ling.
And one last thing, we'd like for you guys to leave us a comment below and let us know what you think about full-time or
part-time
RVing. Just leave us a comment. Thanks for watching, guys. Breakdowns, maintenance, and RV issues.
RVs never break down.
Never. All the time. Matter of fact, the people we're with this weekend,
it's nonstop, had
a blowout on their kitchen sink with hot water. It hit the ceiling and went everywhere. It was all over their kitchen window.
And they have one wall of electrical outlets that are working sometimes and not all the time. Their hot water heater wouldn't kick on, and the air conditioner on their pickup tow vehicle went out on them too. So
yeah, so
they've had fun.
They've not had a good weekend.
But what's some of the benefits? What's those are a lot of detriments, but what's a benefit of that for us as being weekend warriors? We're an hour from home. A lot of those issues, they're just going to get ignored. The electrical issue, he's just going to leave the breaker off till he can get home. And while he's at home, he can troubleshoot it there on his own pace and his own time in his driveway where he has tools and equipment to work on it.
Yeah, and since we're not living in it, we're just using it for the weekend, so we can put it off. So if it's something that can wait until the next time, you know, you just get to it when you can get to it. You're not living in it, so it's not as of a big deal.
And we can get home to where if it's an engine issue or something of that sort, as long as it'll limp along and get home, we can get home to our dealership where we can take it into, and we're not susceptible to whoever on the road to work on it.
Right, or just finding someplace in general. So we know the hometown places, or just having the oil change in the motorhome's kind of a deal, because there's not even places that have a big enough garage or garage door to fit it in. So we know where we take it in our hometown now to get the oil changed at our local Walmart, and the tires too. We kind of had to search around. We had to get new tires, and we had to go to a place that changes truck tires and big dump trucks and utility trucks and things like that. So we know the places that we need to take to get what we need to get done on it. So
now, one of the detriments for us would be is if we did take a long trip where we were away from our comfort zone and our people, we're not traveling with a group of RVers who are full-timers who stay together, who also can draw upon their community of people and get contact with saying, do you know anybody in this local area, in this, Arizona or the Phoenix area, or there's something that could point them in the right direction of somebody to go to.
Right.
Now us, because we're only around our local area.
Right. I mean, just in general, the camping community is awesome, and I'm sure we could get help if we needed, but I think he's just talking more like the full-timer community is just different as far as, getting the help you need and things like that. So you'd probably rely more on family members and friends and neighbors maybe to help you out if you're more local with issues that you have with your RV.
So our next topic is breakdowns, maintenance, and RV issues.
So luckily we haven't really had a whole lot of issues as far as RV maintenance, mainly because the rig we have now is a 2019, so we haven't had a whole lot of issues. Everything's fairly well functioning. This better not jinx that. Our last rig was a 2014, and it did have some issues. Like one time the door handle broke off the RV or the screen door, and we're like,
oops,
if we close it, we won't be able to get that thing back open. So we had to put like tape and stuff around it. Then luckily there's a camping world between our destinations, so we're just able to pick up a part along the way. So another big issue of full-timing versus part-time. When you're part-timing, you can take your RV home, work on it, do whatever you need. if we do have issues along the road, that's kind of an issue. We have to do it at the campground, and there's many campgrounds out here that don't even want you to like wash your RV or stuff like that. So really depends on the campground. I mean, I've seen people working on their cars or their RVs in Walmart parking lots, even washing their RVs in Walmart parking lots with like a bucket and doing stuff like that. So you might have to do stuff like that along the way, but luckily, like I said, we haven't had to run into that, but I'm sure we will have some situations like that. Normal maintenance you need to have on your truck or your RV. It's a little bit more challenging, obviously, when you're on the road and you don't have that home base with mechanics that you already know. You have to really look at reviews and everything to see who the best person is to work on your vehicle or your RV. So another situation is, since you're getting your RV worked on, it's your house. So if you're getting your RV worked on, we work full-time on the road. We may not be able to work in the RV while they're working on the RV. So there might be times where we have to actually get a hotel room or find some other place to work for the day, or just sleep while they're working on the rig. And it hasn't happened to us yet, but I know it's going to happen eventually one of these days, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. So that's a big issue of part-time versus full-time. Part-time, you can obviously put it in for the shop while you're in between weekend trips or something like that. Full-time, it's a little bit more of an issue.
So if there's anything that's small that's wrong with the RV, Google is your best friend.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Well.
Yeah, definitely YouTube. I mean, we have a squeaky faucet, and Shane got some plumber's grease and
something like that. I can't remember what it was. We haven't used it on this one yet. We used it on the last RV, but now this one's starting to squeak too. So
little things like that can go a long way to and saving money wise to just learn how to do a few things by yourself.
Yeah, we make some install videos and stuff, but sometimes I reference to see how other people did it on their rig first, and sometimes those are helpful. Sometimes our rig is totally different and doesn't help us at all. So it just really depends on what rig you have, but there's a lot of helpful information out on Google and YouTube to be able to find stuff. And Bing. And since we are full-timing, any tools that you have to bring them along with you, which adds weight to your rig. So you kind of have to be really selective on what kind of tools. And although normally I would be kind of redundant in some of the tools, you can't really have that as much in the RV lifestyle. Might have a couple wrenches rather than a bunch of different wrenches and one ratchet set. Just have to be kind of selective on what kind of tools you bring along with you. But most of the tools that I brought I've had to use, so I've been very happy to get those or bring those along with us.
What we're going to talk about today is pet care with weekend warriors and full-time RVers. First of all, we want to say this is Zero. This is our kitty. We have a fish too. His name is River. My favorite, pet care. I love my pets.
Some pets don't travel well though.
Yeah, like fish.
Fish traveled though. Cat didn't travel.
Fish don't travel either. They get seasick.
He
was stressed.
He didn't eat at first.
He didn't eat that night.
So one of the detriments for us as weekend warriors is our pets aren't with us all the time, so they're not accustomed to the travel. So we cannot bring our cat because he would be so stressed out the entire time he's here.
Yes.
That it's more detrimental to him to come. So he just stays at home.
Yeah.
But the fish we had to bring.
Yes, if we're this week we're actually camping for a whole week, and we usually do take the fish somewhere, but we've kind of wore out our welcome to my son, who watches my betta fish that I've had for 2.5 years. His name is River, and he was in my daughter's wedding reception actually, so I'm kind of attached to him. But I don't have a long-term plan for him as far as feeding, so we're just like, we'll just take him with us this weekend.
But even if you did, let's say your dogs are a lot more travel friendly. Mm-hmm. Part-timers, we still have to drag all of their toiletry items. If it's a cat, you got litter boxes. Dogs, you've got to get all their leashes. You got to get their favorite bed, their
food,
blankets, their food, and water dishes, and things to make it a little bit normal for them, as opposed to being a full-time where you've already had it there and you've got that routine down pat. So,
their pet bedding and things like that.
Then you're changing the pet's routine. So what they're used to going potty breaks at your house, now that is disrupted.
Exactly. And the biggest detriment to me is the pet worry. So if I leave my pets with somebody while we're long term or going on a longer trip, yeah, I'm always texting to make sure that my pets are getting fed and, you know, making sure they're doing okay and they're not stressed out, and do I need to come home and get them?
We don't do kennels very well.
Yeah, I try not to put my pets in kennels, but
if you're not accustomed to, and your pets are not accustomed to, the weekend trips, the driving, vehicles, going potty might be a rough issue with them about knowing when to go or how to signal you that they need to go. And then yourself, finding a place to go. Okay, let's stop at a rest stop. Okay, is the road too busy and too much going on for your pet to do their business? Or did you stop and this is a good opportunity, but the pet doesn't have to go, so you're trying to force it to go to the bathroom when it's not their time? Yada, yada,
Would
yada.
you please go poop?
Yeah. Hurry up, we need to get on the road.
Yeah.
We got 4 more hours to go. You know.
So yeah, having your pets at home versus at the RV campground, I mean, it is different. They get off schedule and it can stress them out is the main concern to me. So, but I would assume being a full-timer, you have all that down. Your pets probably get on a certain kind of schedule being on the road full-time, and you keep all your stuff in the RV with them.
Now, one of the benefits that you can have if you have a home base would be that, you know, your pet has an entire house to roam around in. It's got a backyard to roam around in, and if you're at a campground in a camper with the size of your lot, you know, you're limited on space. So sometimes the animals can have more room to roam and call their own. All right. One of the benefits we also have is that we have a home base vet. So we have a vet that knows our animals, where we take them to on a constant basis. We know the vet, we know the clinic, they know our pets. If you're on the road, not so much. You're going to have to get on the internet, check reviews, look at reviews of pet hospitals and pet care places and whatnot. If you end up having to take your pet in for an issue, if they get hurt while you're on the road, or if they get sick and you need to take them somewhere. So we've got the benefit. Even if we were here, we're an hour from the house, we can jump in the car and drive home. It's not an issue for us. You can't do that if you're 10 hours from home. You're not going to drive 10 hours to get to your vet. Then you got some things like pet food. Let's think about arrangements for pet food. Okay, when we go to the store, we can buy a 20-pound bag of pet food because we're keeping that at the house. If you're an RVer, then you have to think about space and weight and things of that sort.
You have definitely less storage space for bulk items.
We grab what we need and put it in a container, and we bring it with us.
Someone started setting up their camper over there, so it's a little distracting.
I guess just in the sense, the biggest detriment really that the weekend warrior has is that the non-routine trips can really cause stress and disruptions to your pet, which then they can have accidents. The stress itself is not good for them. It's not good for their stomachs. They can have issues with that. And some animals might love it, but not all.
I think dogs are probably the best. I mean, I know our cat gets very stressed out at any new locations. He'll go and hide for 3 days and you won't see him. I mean, it's just not worth having that stress just to bring him for a weekend. So, and it's stressful for the owner, leaving your pets with other people as well. It's just stressful all the way around. So if at all possible, we try to leave them at home and maybe have people stop by to give them what they need for the weekend or for the week, as far as their food, their water, and whatever necessities they might need.
So our next subject is pet care, and this guy's our pet if you can see his face.
So when you're traveling with animals, it's always important to know where the vets and especially emergency clinics are in the area. When we were in Tennessee, Blaze was just jumping out of the truck. Where were we?
We're trying to fix something with the RV. Oh, the air was leaking out of the tire.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And Shane just ran in to get a little part. I took Blaze out to pee, and he jumped out onto a curb and knocked one of his entire nails off. It just sheared off.
Bleeding everywhere.
And he was bleeding everywhere.
It's almost like someone tried to kill someone. It was bleeding that bad.
And it was a Saturday, but luckily we found a vet that was just like 2 minutes away that was open and could address it. Bandage him up for us.
And ever since that incident, we've been a little bit more mindful where the nearest vet is. Unfortunately, at our current location, Idaho Falls was like the closest thing, about 50 minutes away with a real vet. So hopefully nothing bad happens in those situations when you're far enough away. But sometimes you just can't. If you want to get closer to the location, you have to deal with that sort of thing. And plus, Deanna's pretty much a vet on wrapping up his foot now.
Well, now he's broken more toenails, and I've just dealt with it myself.
Yep, he's prone to injury in his old age. And going along with that, we really have to trust, just like everything else when you're traveling, you have to really trust the reviews with your vets or personal doctors. Same difference either way. So always trying to find decent care for this guy, or someone that has seen greyhounds, because greyhounds are kind of a specific breed.
Well, that's the thing is, around the holidays we're going to have someone watch him that specializes in greyhounds. And I got a recommendation for a good greyhound savvy vet because he needs his teeth cleaned, but I don't trust just anyone with anesthesia because greyhounds are very sensitive. So yeah, I mean, if you know of rescue groups in the area or anything wherever you're going, that's always a good way to
or for your specific breed of dog if they've worked on that specific breed before.
Yep.
Good questions to ask. So part of the reason we upgraded from a 21-foot trailer to the fifth wheel is because of this guy. I mean, the layout did serve us a purpose as well, but he does kind of take up a lot of room around the ground when he's laying down.
He's not just a little dog, as you can see.
I think I'm just going to go ahead and jump into anxiety because it's starting to rain a little bit on the side right now.
Yeah, I think I heard some thunder too.
Yeah. So, you want to start talking about his anxiety issues?
Yeah, let's see, where to begin. Storms are a big one, so we try as hard as we can not to leave him when the weather is going to be bad, even if it's just going to rain.
Because in the last rig...
Yeah, we left him one time when we were on a day trip to Mackinac Island, and there was a big storm that came through, and he actually chewed up a couple corners of the desk. And
you know, on Mackinac Island, it's not like you can just take your own personal boat over there. You have to take a ferry. So we saw the storm coming, but there was no way we're going to get back in time to get the place.
Done anything, so that was a bad one.
Yeah.
He also just, in general, has separation anxiety. It's gotten a lot better, and we have some ways of coping with it, like a thunder shirt and some calming TREATSs. If I say it, he'd get excited.
He's going to spell one of these days.
Probably. So, yeah, I mean, we have little tips and tricks we use, but he still likes to bark and things when we're not here, so we have to... Sometimes we bring him along with us. Other times we just don't go places because... we know it's going to be bad if we leave him. And
this week we went to Grand Teton National Park, and last week we went to Yellowstone. A couple of those times we just took him along with us because it was not easier to go on hikes and stuff because dogs aren't allowed on hikes around the national park, but we didn't have to worry about them. Like if your RV park's having electrical issues or something like that, you don't want to leave your dog behind when the AC might turn off and might not turn back on when you're gone. So you don't want to be far away when that happens, obviously, either. So.
Or if you're planning a day trip and you know you're going to be gone for like 12 hours or something. I mean, I don't know about other people, but we don't feel comfortable leaving him that long.
I can't hold my bladder that long either, so can't expect your dog to. So another one is dog food. That's kind of an issue for picky dogs like ours that has to eat a specific brand. We've switched from brand to brand to brand, but we found one that he really likes. It's Crave. He likes Crave, and for everyone that likes or buys Crave, Walmart usually has Crave, but sometimes Walmart doesn't have Crave. And when you go to go from spot to spot expecting to find your particular dog food and they don't have it, sometimes you have to order it online.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon's our best friend. 2-day shipping.
2-day shipping is a lifesaver. That can be in the subject of its own for Amazon. But it's definitely helpful for pet care. If you need something right away, they can get it to you. Or, that's that. Just to reiterate, AC is very important for dogs. Our dog has had heat stroke before, when we were hiking up on top of a mountain in Connecticut, he decided that's when he needed heat stroke. I know he didn't really do it on purpose, but that's when it happened. And ever since he had heat stroke, he's been more susceptible to stuff like that. So keeping him cool like that for hikes, we don't take him along for hikes if we know it's going to be a hot day or anything that'll keep this dog too hot. I like to stay cool too, but I can withstand a little bit more heat than that guy can. So
yeah.
Yum, candy. We really had a great time doing this collaboration with DNS, and we just wanted to say a huge thank you to them for coming along. It's been actually a long process since even early spring trying to get this all together, and we finally got it all collaborated, and we just wanted to give a huge shout out to them and say thank you so much. It's been fun, and thanks for coming along with us on this adventure as well. And if you have any additional comments, please leave those in the description below.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Can always do more.
And be sure that you check out round 1 and round 2 if you haven't done that already. We'll put all the links in the description below. If you haven't checked out a DNS channel, be sure you do that and subscribe. And we appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, we would love for you guys to come along and join the Bridgeview Brigade. And thanks for watching this series of full-timers versus
part-timers.
Weekend warriors. You guys have a good one. We'll catch you in the next video. One last thing I did want to mention. In our first set of videos, the creek was crazy. This is how it's supposed to look. Nice and calm. Thanks for watching.